I think the idea of female role models for females is essential. I don't think that it needs to be tech specific. I actually wish I'd learned and understood earlier in my career the value of having really good mentors and really good advocates. I was a bit late to the party. I probably only discovered that in the last 10 years. But once you find those mentors and people you're aspiring to and those role models, it can make such a difference to the way you see opportunity. It makes a difference to the way you see your ability to try things that you don't think you know yet or you're not sure if you're capable of. So I think role models, whether they're tech role models or other role models, is really important. I think it's about finding traits in people that you really like and then leveraging, I guess, them as role models for those traits.
I would give the advice to not pick a career based on what you perceive a feminine role to be. Pick a career based on your interests and don't discredit opportunities just because you don't see a lot of other girls there. Because once upon a time I may have discredited or ignored this opportunity that's come to me, and I really would have regretted it because now I have really high work value and I have a lot of fun every single day at work.
I think having a lot of events like what we're having at YBF or at uni, first of all, is very important in a sense that it gives more information, and then just going out there and say, hey, women can actually work in these fields, and then these are the kind of role models that you can look up to, and then what they've been doing in this field. I think that is very important. But then secondly, not only spreading information amongst women, but also amongst men as well. So for them to be more aware that it's important to have more diversity in the room, and then women bring different things to the table. So I think first of all, spreading awareness is very important.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that is very obvious is the lack of senior women in tech. And I think, if you look at the stats and you look at 56% of women who leave tech, most of them are in senior level. They're actually staying in tech until that senior level, and then they're going. So when I look at people and say, the diversity problem, I don't think yes, there's a problem getting women in tech, but I think also for staying in tech. And one of the reasons why women are not staying in tech is because of the lack of support from senior level. And I think there needs to be more sponsorship, more mentoring at that level, just to help women or different diversities, really help them up that path and help them understand how to navigate that journey, because it's a different journey once you get into the senior levels, for sure. You need a different skill set, and you need to be prepared for how to deal with that.
I think one of the cool things that has stood in my way when I was younger is that fear of rejection. So being actually too scared to take that first step and even apply for a job, because I guess that there's a classic recurring topic as well for women or minority groups, is that imposter syndrome. So that if you're going to be the right fit for the role, if you're going to be, make a fool of yourself just by applying, and I think that is really not the case. And every time that I have applied for one of those roles in the tech industry, it's only been positive in the end. So I think one of the big things that I would recommend, if I could go back in time, is just taking a plunge sometimes and just grasping the opportunities that are there rather than doubting yourself too much, because I really think that women have a huge part to play in the future world of tech. So
for my undergrad study, I did computer science. That was in China. I did that because I didn't know what to do when I was in high school. So I just went with the flow and I did computer science. But by the end of my study, I was like, I don't want to do this. That's not what I want to do. I want to go somewhere else and maybe do something new. So I came to Australia 3.5 years ago. I've always been like design. So I did my master in UX design. Then that's when I start liking programming again, because like if I have a cool idea, I get to build it myself. I can make it work. So that's how I get back to engineering again. I keep doing it until now.
As I said, there is a gap in actually women helping women as well. So I think one of the things we should try is actually create a system where they can create a community where they can talk to each other, share their stories and help each other. At the same time, I think the fact is more than women, we have men in management at the moment. So you need to make them understand why it is important to have that diversity in management space. So I would strongly recommend, all the men to be able to, they should be first invited to participate in International Women's Day or whatever women initiative that we are taking. So I think it is an incredible first step that we could do. So none of the women-centric celebration should be just women, because at the end of the day, I come from a family where I've seen a lot of great men. My dad, my husband, they were all great people. So they've always had that aspiration for me to do the things that I like to do. In order to create that space, you need to create that ecosystem to be able to for them to actually understand where we are coming from, at the same time us to understand where they are coming from. So it'd be great to have men and any women initiative programs. Yeah.
So I am a lawyer by background. After 15 years of working as a traditional family lawyer, I was disillusioned with the whole system and wanted to change. So decided to join forces with my tech husband to become legal technology. And I've definitely learned a lot over the last couple of years. There's so much involved in running a tech startup, from HR management to business development to marketing and sales. And some of those things I thrive in and am passionate about, and others it's been a big learning curve. So there's a lot more than the tech, but obviously the tech's very, very important.
I think the thing for me is that opportunities will always present themselves. And that if you have an ambition to get into something, you don't need to achieve that straight away. It's not about getting there as quickly as you possibly can, but actually enjoying the ride along the way. I think the biggest thing that I've found is that experience is invaluable, and you will gain experience by doing a diversity of things throughout your lifetime. I think there's some stat that's like you have 7 career changes in life. Which I think really the point to be made there is you're not locked into anything. So my advice would be to enjoy every moment, learn as much as you can, never be disappointed with the outcome, because I think ultimately it will end up being the right one for one reason or another. And to really think deeply about what it is that you're after and that you want to do, and the types of subject matter or styles of work that you like necessarily than the particular career, or like how you think about that career, or rather how your family or others might think about that career. So just go with it, I suppose.
I think the misconception that I'm probably most aware of, apart from the fact that there's beanbags in every room and non-stop table tennis, I mean, we do have table tennis and we're very passionate about it, but probably that you need to be a developer to work at a tech company or to add value. I think you can come from many diverse backgrounds and have a fulfilling career at a tech company, but also add immense value. Although it does, of course, not hurt to have a technical background, it's not necessarily a prerequisite if you're open-minded and you're happy to work in different parts of the business.